Hello. In today's episode, my guest is someone really young, energetic, vivacious, and has a lot of intellect and has a new age outlook how to bring India forward. He is not just a young entrepreneur or a new generation, new age young Turk. He has someone who's a legacy of 6th generation entrepreneurs, businessmen, and more than that, mentors who have actually made India who she is. We get up in the morning, we have something from their brand. Our parents also have something. Our grandparents have their Chawanprash. Our parents have their diet juices. In our generation, now we are all health freaks and we have some of their ghee and some other nice new diet freak foods. And of course, the youngsters have another thing where they can always cherish and have packaged foods and juices and other diet drinks. Let me introduce to you my guest today. We start our day, as I said, in the morning and we sleep at night having something from their library and their shop and their online and their digital and their store presence. My guest today is a very young, dynamic entrepreneur and somebody who's carrying his 6th generation legacy forward. Very few people continue to carry their legacy forward because he knows what his family has brought to the table for India, and he has a new age look where he's going to take it to another many few more generations and decades ahead. Let me introduce to you my friend Aditya Burman.
Thank you so much, Angie. Really appreciate it, and thank you so much for that very, very, very kind introduction.
You deserve it, and so does your family.
Well, very kind. I think they definitely do, but let's see if I do by the end of this.
No, I'm sure you will, because I think you have so much energy and so many new ideas and how you're going to repackage the Dabur brand to take it forward in the next few decades. Dabur, let me tell you, everyone knows, has been one of the largest FMCG brands, but very few know to how many different sectors they've diversified. This family speaks very less about what all they have done, not only in profit-making ventures, but also in non-profit ventures, which have helped our country and the poor people and the people in the 2nd and 3rd cities. They don't talk much, they're very elegant, sophisticated. All the family is one unit. And the less they talk, the more they've done. Most people like to talk much more and do less, but in this family, it's the reverse. Let me bring you to a small sneak peek to the life of Aditya Burman.
Thank you so much.
So Aditya, tell me, how did you start your career? You obviously have a legacy to follow, and you also have a lot of products and a lot of different business and brands which the families had from the earlier generations and maybe have come up with 1 or 2 generations prior to you. So how did you think of carrying forward that and bringing your own few ventures which you had some new concept or new idea, and yet you are keeping the legacy forward because you're one of the few in the family who have to carry this 6th generation legacy forward and have made India proud already. We'll come to the various aspects and the different verticals in a short while, but the starting way you thought and conceptualized to carry the legacy and bring something new on this.
Thanks, Angie. Yeah, so I think you always start your career with the lens of what you did, I guess, in higher education. And so I studied chemistry, so very scientifically inclined. I must admit that I had started it trying to do genetics, but I realized there's way too much memorization. I was better at chemistry, so I went for that. So I came in as a scientist, and so when I started, I was actually, our family has we don't work within the business. So I was working in our pharmaceutical business when I first came back, and my father had started that in 1991, Dabur Pharma. And so I joined in over there, and it was interesting because obviously going from a chemistry education background to a pharma sort of environment was familiar, but going from a laboratory into a business orientation or a boardroom, that was actually, I'd say, more of the more of the surprising stuff than the technicality of it. So, but yeah, it was an amazing experience. India was it was just taking off at the time. This is in the early 2000s, 2003, and I think at that time there was a huge upliftment of the entire country. A lot of amazing people doing amazing work.
So when was this? How many years back was this?
2003. 2003. Yeah. So 2003.
So that's like 20 years.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
been there. Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. It's been a while.
When you say it like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's been a while.
and then you were what different things were you doing in pharma? Because pharma lately came into the limelight thanks to COVID.
Yes.
And earlier, this industry was very much there,
Yes.
very much a very big sector in our country, but was not always talked about and one of the top ranking sectors. So, what were the medicines or which field in pharma were you focusing on?
Right. So, India has always been, very forward-looking when it comes to medicines.
Yes.
All the way from the Ayurvedic times.
Yes.
Where, where India was literally at the forefront of medical sciences with Ayurveda and of course the other traditional medicines in India. But with pharma, India was at a little bit of an earlier stage, where routine kind of pharmaceuticals were quite available, but oncology pharmaceuticals were not, right?
Yes.
So cancer pharmaceuticals for patients with cancer, that's something that my father had studied during his PhD, and he took a lot of, it took a lot of effort, but to get it into India. And yeah, so we came up with, it was at one point, India's largest oncology focused pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
So, and that's some deep science right there.
Okay.
So that was interesting.
So you did that for how many years?
So when I joined, after that, I think it was 2008 when Fresenius bought our share of the business in our pharma business, which continues on today as Fresenius Kabi Oncology. But yeah, so about 5 years or so.
So why did you want to merge with them or sell out to them or?
So I think it started off as a conversation, us wanting to actually supply them pharmaceuticals. They're large. They have hospitals across the world, large in Europe, and we were talking to them because we had set up I would say the highest technology facility for creating oncology pharmaceuticals. It's very specialized. So you have to have very specialized facilities with all the appropriate regulatory stamps, and also we had got that. And we were talking to them about supplying their hospitals. But amazingly, they liked it so much that the conversation progressed and ended up where it did.
And you have no regrets? Or do you regret that maybe during COVID, if you all were still very much in it, I mean, you'd be one of the big players also?
So surprisingly, during COVID, we were actually one of the earlier people to come up with supplements for immunity, right? Because COVID medications, which were very specific, applied to very specific companies.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the vaccines, I'm talking about, the meds that were used. But what Dabur does is immunity, right? General well-being.
Yes.
Boosting your immunity, making sure that your body is capable of handling something.
Yes.
Before you get it,
Yes.
So we put out a lot of things during that time, which were specific for high immunity boosting. So we did have a part in that, even though we didn't have the pharma company to back up on. So.
Yes, but there's so many people say that during COVID, one of the biggest things which fought all the problem and the disease, and when people had COVID, was one of them was having Chyawanprash. Somebody told me also having Galoy.
Yes.
And also there were some others as well. So could you highlight which were your products of Dabur which helped fight COVID once somebody had it?
So yeah, I think people, look, at that time nobody knew
what
to take, what not to take.
Yes.
So I think, definitely there was Giloy, there was Tulsi drops, there was Giloy drops, there was Chyawanprash.
Right.
And additional to that, we had actually come up with various things like sanitizers and, things that were needed.
You have this amazing tea, which is a mix of lots of different I don't know, I
Right.
think there's tulsi and there's
So-
lots
so-
of,
so
and that
technically-
tea really helped a lot of lives.
Yes. So technically, a tea is when it's purely just a tea. When it's mixed with stuff, when there's other things in it, it's known as a tisane, right? So yes.
Yeah.
So technically, it was one of those, and yes, that did help a lot. Right now we have the Honeytus hot sip, which really is very good for soothing and for the throat and all of that. But yeah, at that time there were other mixtures which were there, more Ayurvedic in nature.
Yeah,
So
because that was a very trying time for everyone in India, and it wasn't only the vaccine, but it was also other remedies which were helping people in
Yes.
different ways. And that's the time I heard about this tea, and it was very helpful for people who had it. And see, everybody did not have the funds or the infrastructure to buy the vaccine at that time when it was not accessible, or buy certain medicines which could save you, those certain saving drugs. And I know a lot of close or distant people who used a lot of the Dabur different remedies of Ayurveda and all to fight all this.
Absolutely. And I think at that time, difficult times, you're absolutely right. And nobody knew what to
Yes.
do. So I think the idea was to really just keep oneself as well as possible.
Right.
To keep your immunity as high as possible, to make sure that you're able to fight things off if, God forbid it does
Anything
come.
happens, yeah.
But then, of course, the vaccine rollout by the Indian government was absolutely unbelievable. It was so well done. It was so far-reaching, to the hinterlands, to the furthest reaches of this country, and it was amazing to see that. In the shortest period of time, we made this available to everybody, and what an amazing feat that was.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you got the jab,
Yeah.
after that you felt a little bit more
safer,
and all of that.
But Dabur, when the first time anyone thinks of the word Dabur, they think of Ayurveda.
Yes.
But it also, I don't know how many of people who are watching this show today know that Dabur means Da in Bur is Burman and Da is brother in, I think.
So it's
the other way, right?
No,
It's
it was Dr. Burman.
Acha, Dr.
Dr.
Burman.
Burman.
Okay.
So Da for doctor.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
in
how
Calcutta,
it
yes,
Yes, but
yes.
it's all about brothers and unity
Yes.
and a family who's put India on the global map when it comes to Ayurveda. Now, everyone today talks of Ayurveda, but your family's been in it for a long time and a long legacy. So which year did Ayurveda really start, and all the Ayurveda, like whether it was Chavan Prash and all, whichever generation, how was it carried forward, and today, how is it positioned here and globally by Dabur?
So Ayurveda, so we started with Ayurvedic products 1884.
1884, okay.
Yes. So let me tell you, 1884 was before X-rays, was before penicillin.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is before any kind of synthetic sutures and stitches. As a matter of fact, in 1884, the usual way of anesthetizing somebody, knocking them out. Nowadays, it's all an injection and whatnot, and then you rest while somebody does whatever they have to. At that time, was chloroform.
Okay.
Yeah, so they, somebody put a cloth up against your face, would knock you out like that, and then they would go to work on you in terms of surgery. So allopathy at that time was very nascent, very nascent. As a matter of fact, way more nascent than Ayurveda was.
Right.
So when we started, and weirdly enough, the original Dr. S.K. Burman was not an Ayurvedic doctor.
Okay.
No, he was actually an allopathic doctor. And when he came, the idea was that you take something which is got multiple different components and that is made differently by different people all over. But yet, why should you have that differential? Because in Ayurveda, it goes according to the Granth. So if you're going according to the Granth, then why should there be variability in quality?
Right.
So the idea was, how can we get a high quality group of products available to as many people as possible, right, with uniformity? So that's where the idea came from.
Right.
So Ayurveda, Charaka Samhita and the Sushruta Samhita, these were essentially compilations, right? So these were compilations. The Charaka Samhita is basically for jadi bootis and the medicines,
right.
And the Sushruta Samhita is for the surgeries,
Okay.
right? Even though that also does have certain herbs and the things that are used there,
Right.
But they were, again, they didn't come up with that,
Right.
They were compiling it. Samhita is a collection,
Right.
So that was what it was. It was a collection of these things, which made a big, India was eons ahead of the rest of the world at that time.
Right.
And since then, a lot of anecdotal usage, a lot of variants, things were tried out, something here, something there. So there is some flexibility, not too much though, in Ayurveda. But yeah, so when, the idea was about consistency and quality.
Right.
And that's, again, a big part of what it is today.
Yes.
But then over the decades, there were proprietary medicines as well. So as an example, you mentioned Chyawanprash. Chyawanprash, actually, we have over 6 variants.
Okay.
One of them is the original Chyawanprash, which is according to the Granth, it is by the ancient recipes.
Yeah, that's the one which is sweet.
That's the one that a lot of people know in the red jar.
But there
absolutely.
are a lot of sugar-free ones.
Right.
And,
So then we said, look, there are new needs. So there is Chyawan Prakash, which is the sugar-free. We have Ratna Prash, which is for folks which are, a little bit, so we do it not according to age, but maybe stage of life.
Stage of life, yes.
So there's Ratna Prash, and then we have Kesar Prash, which again has, the variants change as you age, you need different things in your body, different things become important.
Right.
And then, of course, we have 2 new ones, which is Gud Chyawanprash.
Okay.
There's Gud and there is Khajur, right?
Okay.
So Gud and Khajur, these are very well accepted. Again, more for iron, more for natural sweeteners and things like this. So there are different variants.
Lots of
Yes.
But tell me, there are lots of people. You all have been there since 1800s, and I forgot the year.
1884.
Sorry, you all have been here from 1884,
Yes.
and today we are in 2025. So you mentioned about the various types of Chyawanprash, which is of course the most iconic and known product of Dabur, which I think any child, mid-age or adult would know and prescribe by. And now of course there are the various variants which help us a lot.
Absolutely.
In all our specific needs or
absolutely,
variations
yes.
of Chyawanprash, because somebody would say, oh my God, there's too much sugar, but now all of that is all taken care of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, there isn't, but for those
those
who
believe that, who
and,
don't
and
know.
for people, specifically who are diabetic,
Yes.
right? And they have to be very careful with their sugar intake
Yes.
entirely. It helps them control that.
Yes.
So it makes a big difference.
No, what's the beauty of your brand is that you have people who hire professionals to do the medicine part of it, but your family already has had doctors who have knowledge about what degree of what ingredients should be in it. That is one of the USPs, I would say, of Dabur. Well, now we all live in a real world, and we all know that competition is there, and lots of other brands. When any brand does well and has a unique product or unique selling point, everybody joins the same thing. So there are lots of new FMCG, 7-8 FMCG brands now who are one of the bigger players in India. See, it's not about the numbers for me. It's about the content of the product.
Right.
And about the ingredients, as you said, and the quality, as you said. So how when did they get in? There must just be 1 or 2 generations, or maybe just one. And second, what is the difference in your quality of product versus theirs? And third is, how big is the Ayurveda and the FMCG market of India grown? How the product will sell globally besides only selling in India?
So I'll take that in a couple of pieces.
Yes.
Look, see, people coming up in other FMCG companies, I think that's a good thing for the country,
Yes.
right? People want variety, they want different things.
Yes, that's a very positive way
absolutely.
to look at it. Yes.
But for us, we do a fair amount of things.
Okay.
I'd say that a lot of companies that have come up were kind of built up on sort of one thing. or small group of things, and then they've now branched out into consumer goods, right? And you see that across that, there is one thing which is kind of holding up the company, and then the rest of it is consumer. We are a pure consumer good company,
right? Yes.
Right? Whether it's whether it's healthcare, whether it's personal care, home care, oral care,
yes,
food and
I'm
beverage,
coming to those,
and all
yes,
of those,
yes.
right? So for us, it's very varied. It's not any one thing that's standing there, and then everything is just kind of lumped on top of that.
Right.
So like you said, one of our brands is Chyawanprash, but we have honey, we have real juice, we have ghee. I mean, all our cold press. Our cold press. So ghee is, it's traditional, but we also do cold press oils.
Okay.
So we've gotten into all these different things. So we didn't have that sort of one thing that everything else got lumped on top of. We've always been into a few different things.
Right.
So yeah, competition is it's good for the country, I'd feel. I'd say it's a little unusual, more sort of within the last, I'd say 10, 15 years, where you've had a lot of startups, right? And startups, upstarts, whatever you call them.
Right.
And that's a good thing, I think, because they have a lot of, they have the ability to scale a good idea.
Right.
The problem wasn't that. The problem I felt was that you had money chasing an idea even beyond the idea's validity, right? So it was that, okay, it's not to say, throwing good money after bad, is that, keep throwing money at it until you win at the other end, right? So a few companies in the West did this, and everyone kind of jumped on that bandwagon that, listen, if I throw enough money at something, I'll be able to take over that market.
Yes.
A lot of people have been very successful at that as well. It becomes a little unusual because you have stages of a company, right? So you have, nowadays a lot of companies are online first, which is great. Online first becomes very convenient. Online is very different than offline.
Oh, totally,
right?
yes.
And offline, whether you're talking about general trade, modern trade, whether you're talking about hotels, restaurants, so the HoReCa segment, whether you're talking about, CSD and canteens, whether you're talking about exports, whether you're, so you have different channels. There's so many of them. And now even within the online, you have e-com and quick-com, and they're kind of slugging it out amongst each other. So there's a lot of channels, there's a lot of things to take care of, and there's a lot of ways of doing everything has its own nuance. So I think that there's a lot of learning that these startups and all will have to do. Some of them will do them, others will not. Some of these startups, they get up to a certain size, then they work with a company like ours. They merge in, or they get acquired or whatever, and and then it takes from there. And this has been happening for years. It's not anything new. These M&A activities have always been there.
So when it comes to, I'm sure a lot of startups have approached you at some point or the other.
Oh, absolutely. We're actively talking to several people.
Yes.
Several people, yes.
And also, most of them are also online, because that's what they all think, that's the future and that's the business.
Sure.
So do you, how do you evaluate a startup? How do you, I've had a lot of people on the show, and there have been lots of conversation and views on startups.
Right.
But today I'm going to ask a little different question, is how do you evaluate it?
Right.
How do you, because obviously it's a piece of paper. Evaluation, initially it's an idea, plus a piece of paper that how much a sale would be or how much it can go up to.
Yes.
But beyond that, how do you gauge the individual? How do you gauge the business? And if you are doing it in FMCG or without FMCG, how do you evaluate both the different verticals?
Well, it's okay. I'll break that up.
Yeah, again into the two questions merged in one.
I'll break it up into a couple of things. So one is how, so why are we looking at something? So if Dabur is looking at something, it has a particular viewpoint. Size of market that it's addressing is definitely one. Size of, what market share that particular product has, the quality of the product that's actually out there. So all those things are very relevant. I think when you talk, and this is when you're talking about an acquisition, not necessarily on a startup. Right? With a startup, you have the additional thing of finding out, okay, what's this team like? Right? Because if you're talking about an earlier stage startup, like you said, you don't know what the numbers are going to be.
Yeah, it's a piece of paper.
Exactly. So you're banking on somebody delivering on that piece of paper, on that promise. And that's where the team comes in extremely, extremely importantly, that look, these are people that are good at doing this, whatever this is. right? And that has to be, I think that has to be a given. You know, and again, just because you're good at doing something doesn't mean you'll actually do it. So the ability to actually execute
it, yeah,
is huge.
Is huge.
So, but we see, we invest in for different reasons. We have our family office that does investments individually. Our families do investments, individuals do investments. We do investments in terms of Dabur. So we look at things differently. I think a big common part is that, look, the team must be good, the product must be good, and the market must be there.
Okay.
Right. So these are just the basics, of course, and each one will have its own nuance. But yeah, I think having a good team, a good brand, you know, and so for the older things. So for instance, you look at a wonderful brand like Badshah Masala, right? So we are now consolidating that into our books as well.
Okay.
But what a wonderful brand! I mean, it's so beautifully well known. People remember the jingle.
What did you really like about that? What caught your attention?
So I think it's global relevance, really. You know, it's universal. People, you know, people got to eat. And masalas are going to be, oh, absolutely.
You have to have your masala in your Indian food.
Absolutely, in the Indian food for sure. And now not only
and now, I was just going
everywhere,
to say that, everywhere, yeah. Everybody likes Indian masalas.
Absolutely, and huge and weirdly, you know, one thing that I didn't know in the beginning, which turns out, wow, this is amazing. Such a huge, there's such a huge following for Badshah in the West.
Yes.
You know, in the UK, in Europe, in US, you know. It's a great flavor profile. People really do appreciate.
So
like
they
that.
approached you, and that's
there
how
was a conversation. There was a conversation that was had, and we found comfort in each other's sort of viewpoints, and took it forward from there.
So great. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And letting us all know so many new things which none of us knew, and of course a new vision, a new way of taking Dabur forward. Of course, Dabur and the family has always and already made India proud. That's why I was really keen to have you and the Dabur family on my show.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much. I'm going to give you a small gift from my online.
Very kind.
It's a home decor online and furniture.
Thank you so very much.
So I hope you like it.
I'm sure I will. Everything that you do and make is always awesome.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
And I'm really happy you came today, and I had you on today.
Thank you for having me.